From the far reaches of the Milky Way galaxy, it's Retro Nerd Girl with a 3rd year anniversary video for you. It's been 3 years since the first Retro Nerd Girl movie review was posted on YouTube on June 16th, 2016, and it set me on a path to take on the challenge of sharing my views on films. Can you believe it? I can't. Just somebody pinch me. 3 years, it's a long time, but reflecting back to the beginning, it all happened so fast. Almost like a spur of the moment thing. I really only wanted to make movie reviews for a vlog channel that I was working on at the time. And after doing some research, I decided that this movie review idea really needed its own channel. So I created this very channel on March 24th, 2016, with the hopes that I would eventually upload videos on it. I went to work to develop a format that would really highlight everything I wanted to celebrate about movies that I love. And it took me 3 months to post my first video, which was The Day the Earth Stood Still, released in 1951. A true classic. I love that movie so much. A few hours later, I got the nerve to post my second review, which was for The Masters of the Universe, released in 1987, which is what I would call a guilty pleasure. Not a lot of people think that it's a good movie, but I really enjoyed it in my way, for the way I felt about the characters in the film. And maybe it was a bit of nostalgia, but sometimes those things really mean a lot to you as you age and you look back on your childhood and the things that formed who you are as a person. So it felt really great to put out those 2 videos, but it was really hard waiting to see what the response would be from people. And I didn't get a lot of views in the beginning. I got about 10 views after a few months and no comments really. And it was really kind of strange because how do you get people to see your video besides telling everyone you know, hey guys, I have a show on YouTube where I review movies, please watch it. And after a while, a couple of people watch here and there, but you don't. A lot of times people won't even subscribe, but at least they, watch the video. So it's really been kind of a slow trickle for me for the full 3 years. This is something I really had to come to terms with and learn how to pace my expectations while here on YouTube. It can really drive me a little insane if I obsess about the numbers. And I think I've really decided to focus on the quality that I can bring to the reviews for my current subscribers, the people who have said yes. I also feel that, for many of the other creators on YouTube, this is basically how they make a living, or they're trying to make a living on YouTube. So there's a lot more intensity to put out a lot of content in a short period of time. And I would just love to do that, but I have a full-time job and I do want to have balance in my life. I don't want to experience this intensive kind of burnout because I'm doing something too intensely. After a while, it's not fun anymore. And for me, this is my fun. I love doing this. It's also for me about creating a library of movie appreciation for the future. And I'm well on my way because I have 82 movie reviews on this channel. If you would have told me 3 years ago you would have 82 movie reviews, I would have said how, because it really takes a lot for me to put together each video, and I really try to do it with the best of my ability. So, and it takes me weeks sometimes to do it. So if you would have told me 82, and I would have been completely surprised and shocked. And I'm working my way to 100. 100 is going to be my landmark, and of course I'm going to continue after 100, but I think I might do like a big celebration at 100 because that was a goal of mine for a long time. One other thing too, I want to play a little like remembrance here. I'm really glad to be able to review movies like Demolition Man this year, which was released in 1993. I mean, it was a pure joy to review that movie, but it was a pretty massive undertaking because there were so many details about the film that I basically had to leave on the cutting room floor, if you will, because the review would have taken about an hour. So, if you want any of that extra information that I did not cover in the video, you can find them on my blog, and the link to that is in the description. But I was really excited and happy to actually review that, because I had been working on that for a very long time, several months there. And I was very happy to review Heavy Metal. That's another one of my favorite movies that I really enjoyed reviewing. And I was burning to review it because it was so attached to my childhood. So it feels so good to finally release them into the world after spending so much time working on them. Usually when I pick a movie, I watch it a few times and I write down my first impressions. I watch the film a few more times to see if there was anything that I missed or that I feel like I should have reviewed it from different angles and different thought processes. And then I do some research on the internet. I use IMDb. I use Rotten Tomatoes, I use Wikipedia, and YouTube. There's a lot of cool interviews and movie behind the scene clips that you can find on YouTube, which is surprising and pretty good actually. After that, I write the script with all of my notes and select the screenshots that I want to use for the review and any other photos pertaining to production or post-production or pre-production. Then I record the audio, I edit the audio, and then I drop the audio and the pictures into my video template with Filmora Wondershare to edit my videos. I make the thumbnail and then I upload the video to YouTube. Now, I have been blessed to be able to talk about so many of my favorite movies of all time, and I'm not running out of content anytime soon. There are still hundreds of reviews that I want to make, literally hundreds. So I'm truly in this for the long haul. I'm also aware that it will take many years to get through all of the videos, and you can actually see this list on my IMDb account list. There's also a link to that in the description of this video as well. Now, it's a pretty massive list, so have fun browsing through that if you get a chance to look at it. It's pretty intense. But I do just hope that I get a chance to get through them all. And I'm going to approach it like I approached my very first video, and just tackle it one of them at a time. I want to really get to review my favorite movie of all time, okay? The Terminator, released in 1984. For years and years, I thought it was Star Wars that was my favorite movie, but it kind of surprised me when I analyzed it and thought about it. It's The Terminator. I love that movie. And maybe I'm giving too much information here, because it's going to take me some time to really get through the two franchises, because I don't just want to talk about the movie that of course I love, but I also want to talk about the franchise itself. And it may take me a while to get through that stuff as well, especially with Star Wars, because I believe I've seen all of the movies except for the last two, which I plan on seeing. And I really want to talk in depth about Star Wars and what's kind of happened to the Star Wars legacy. It's something that I feel like every movie reviewer should at least try to approach. And I'm not sure exactly how I want to do it, and if I want to do it in a specific kind of format, but I'm going to be working on that this year. And I still haven't gotten to a whole bunch of genres that I really love, and know that you guys are probably so used to me talking about movies in the I love way, because these, I'm telling you right now, I just get excited when it comes to these kinds of movies. Now, there's the modern day comic book live action films that we have now, which I do want to talk about all of those. And just I want to chime in my opinion on some of those movies, because I actually like some of them, and I actually think that there's a lot of potential there. I like where it's going, and the fact that there's kind of a sci-fi element to a lot of them. So there's that. I want to talk about the kung fu movies of the 1970s. I've got about 4 or 5 of them I really want to talk about. The sword and sorcery movies from the 1980s. Wow, there's some really cheesy stuff, but let me tell you, guaranteed laughs and just stuff that warms my heart. I love the Ray Harryhausen movies. There's at least another 4 or 5 of those movies that are really good from like the 1970s and 1980s. And the 1960s that I really want to cover. A lot of the dystopian sci-fi films from the 1970s and 80s. And tons of animated films, both obscure and really popular ones. And what a lot of you guys probably don't know about me is that I love Christmas movies, and so I do want to cover a few of those as well, the well-known ones and the cheesy the cheesy Lifetime movie ones as well. They're really good. So yes, it just looks like I opened up a can of worms when I decided to make movie reviews, and I'm happy to comply given the time. What I didn't expect about starting this channel is that many of you leave such sweet, respectful, and detailed comments about the movies that I review, and your theories. I mean, some of the theories are pretty cool. I'm always like, wow, I didn't even think of that. and at many times, your very precious memories of seeing the movies for the first time. You know, that's the biggest gift to me. I really appreciate you for sharing your stories and supporting my effort on this channel. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. It really speaks of the magic of movies and how they powerfully touch us throughout our lives. And no matter how silly, no matter how obscure, no matter how much it's been unliked by the mainstream, we are united in our love for movies. So thank you for 3 incredible years of sharing. Take care, movie lovers. I'm off to my next video.